So now we live in a time where Selena Gomez, even though she is, a wealthy star, she can't have an opinion. She can't post online how she feels about deportations and immigration without being made fun of by the far right or the MAGA folks. What is going on here? This is not what America's about. This is not patriotic. She deserves to be able to have her own opinion. And just like everybody else, just like you folks who are criticizing her, she can state her feelings online, on social media, just like you are.
¿Cómo fue el trato desde el principio?
No, terrible, terrible, terrible. O sea, la comida con mi bebé, casi me robaron en México, me robaron todos los documentos, el celular, casi se roban a mi bebé.
¿Cuánto tiempo estuviste detenido y cómo hiciste con el niño?
8 días. No, él no ha comido, él está en desnutrición. Allá lo llevé al médico y él está en desnutrición. Él no ha comido en todos estos días, no ha comido.
¿Qué mensaje le das al país ahora que estás acá?
Que no se vayan. No se vayan porque los están deportando a todos, no los van a soltar al siguiente día, sino allá hay personas que llevan un mes, hay gente desaparecida. No, que no se vayan y ya hay ejército, ya mandaron soldados a las fronteras, los ponen en el asilo, pero no los sueltan, allá los dejan. Nos dieron prioridad porque pues traemos a los bebés. Pero duré 8 días allá sin comer bien, los tratos eran horribles, nos levantaban, mejor dicho, como si fuéramos lo peor del mundo.
Vale, gracias.
Desde el principio nos trataron muy mal, nos botaron la ropa, nada más nos dejaron guardar el celular, no nos dejaban bañar, la comida nos despertaban a las 3 de la mañana, nos esperaban que nos durmiéramos y a la hora nos despertaban, nos gritaban, a algunos les pegaron. La atención médica prácticamente tocaba lastimarse para que nos dejaran salir. El trato fue muy malo desde el principio, la verdad.
¿Y cambió cuando llegó el gobierno de Colombia?
Sí, ya el último día no nos dejaron bañar, nos dejaron cepillar, prácticamente nos trataron bien, ahí sí nos decían que gracias, que dónde vivimos y todo eso. Ahí sí se preocuparon del todo, la verdad.
¿Qué mensaje le das al país?
No, pues la verdad que estamos felices de volver. Ansiábamos mucho estar en nuestra tierra, extrañábamos la verdad estar por acá y que la verdad algunos nos arrepentimos de habernos ido.
Gracias.
All right, guys, so we have to continue our follow-up on the mass deportations because as you guys saw at the beginning of this video, the illegal immigrants that are being deported from the United States back to their home countries, in the case of that video you guys just saw there, those were the Colombian illegal immigrants that were deported back to Colombia after the Colombian president decided to throw a rage fit over Trump deporting illegal immigrants on military planes into the country just to end up folding after Trump threatened to essentially bankrupt Colombia if he doesn't comply. So yeah, I mean, they have arrived back in their homeland and they're saying, hey, to anybody thinking about coming to America illegally, don't come because they're deporting everybody. They have the army at the border and yeah, it's just not a good time, right? It's not a good time to be an illegal immigrant in the United States of America. Now, again, the reason why she's saying this is because we now have a president that is in charge, that is conducting the largest mass deportation operation in American history, and he's being unapologetic about it, right? He's basically saying, listen, this is what we have to do. Okay, we have to get this illegal immigration issue under control, and some hard choices are going to have to be made, okay? In these liberal cities that are refusing to cooperate with us because of their sanctuary city status, because they're run by woke lunatics, hey, we are targeting them for the ICE raids. And one city that has recently been targeted is Chicago. And the woke mayor, Brandon Johnson, who has been hell-bent on trying to protect and feed and support the illegal immigrants no matter what, even at the expense of his own people, he's now lashing out, whining and crying, racism and bigotry, hate over the mass deportations, the raids that are now happening in his city. Take a look.
And a brief follow-up, Mayor. Your reaction to Border Czar Tom Homan making his presence known here in your...
It's clear from this administration is that they do not have the full pulse or the breadth of what people in America are calling for. And, you know, he has made it no secret that he wants to dismantle the education department. And he's made it very clear that he is not willing to, you know, uphold the very sensibilities of our democracy to make sure that we're protecting the civil rights of individuals. Look, as a former public school teacher, the fact that everything that we won and fought for during Reconstruction, he is trying to roll back the hands of time. And as I've said, that there's a clear disdain for the fact that the Civil War went in a direction that clearly there are people in this country have not accepted. So we're going to continue to stand up for working people. That's what my mission is. The city of Chicago, we are the heartbeat of America, and we will continue to lead the way.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
I want to ask you a little bit about the potential economic impact of this situation. Last week we were down in the Little Village neighborhood, the 26th Street corridor, second busiest in the city of Chicago, was virtually empty. And the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce said even before the ICE raids last week, they were seeing an economic impact. So many of these businesses are mom and pop businesses. What are your concerns about the economic impact of what's going on right now, especially in these communities? And what can the city do, if anything, to try to help them get through this?
Well, the first thing that we're doing is we're making sure, and our Deputy Mayor, Beatrice Ponce de Leon, already spoke to this, making sure that businesses and the community, that they know their rights. As far as the entire economic impact, our budget director has spoken to that. I'm happy to bring her back. Please, Annette, if you want to speak more to that. But the whole point of that level of intimidation is to have that type of impact. That's what terror does. It works to disrupt the way of life. We literally have acts of terror that are being promulgated from the federal government. Look, I know many of you in here enjoyed your social studies classes. As a proud social studies teacher, I can't emphasize enough not just how unprecedented this is, but what it is reminiscent of. As Mark Twain said that history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes.
Tom Holman showed up in Chicago and within 24 hours found a convicted sex offender who has been living in our city since 2009, flouting the sex offender registry. If he can do this, why can't you?
Because that's their job. That is their job. The federal
Your
government
job's not to keep
has
the
a
people of Chicago
responsibility
safe?
to make sure that individuals who are undocumented, who have been charged with, convicted of a crime, it is the federal government's responsibility to do their part and uphold the law. Our local police department, along with our public health department, along with our other sister agencies, are working to build a better, stronger, safer Chicago. And as we've stated repeatedly, those critical investments, you continue to see the results of those investments as violent crime continues to fall in Chicago.
Yeah, see, now you heard that. As I predicted, probably one of the easiest predictions for me to make, Mayor Brandon Johnson would somehow, some way, boohoo, whine, and cry racism as a result of the mass deportations, okay? He basically says that, hey, Trump is mad because, I guess, I don't know, the Confederacy lost the Civil War. That's the reason why he's doing this. Which, again, is fascinating to me because Democrats, progressives, liberals, these are the people who are concerned about who's going to pick our cotton. That's their main concern. They're much more concerned about cheap labor than they are about the well-being and safety of the American people.
A question about, because one of the reasons that President Trump got elected, according to President Trump in an interview, I think it was with Kristen Welker of NBC, was because of grocery prices. Not the only reason, but a reason, high prices, inflation, especially at the grocery. The Department of Agriculture says that between 2020 and 2022, 42% of crop workers were undocumented immigrants. And in many cases, as you know, these migrants do jobs many Americans do not want to do. So, how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake, you're just asking the question, that we should supply America's food with exploitative, illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden flights. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want on this. I'm explaining to you and your audience.
I don't have a third. I'm talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
I'm
you
explaining
can come back
to you
and we
your
can talk
audience.
about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws, and as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
Boom. It's really that simple, right? It's really that simple. For all these people boo-hoo out and cry, who's going to pick our cotton? Who going to do it? Who going to do it for us? Again, first and foremost, we have a program for that. And if that program is necessary to use, because from what I'm hearing from the left, the American people, they don't want to do those jobs, right? As if we don't have millions of unemployed men, prisoners, and others, a lot of federal workers who are going to be losing their jobs, DI hires that need jobs, right? They can pick our cotton, okay? I believe we got plenty of people to pick our cotton. But anyways, even if we needed foreign labor to pick our cotton, right, to pick our crops, to build our houses and stuff like that, even if we actually really needed it because literally nobody else will do it, we have a program for that, right, in which they can come in under the program and they can do what they're here to do, and hopefully, you kind of send them back. But I'm just saying that, we have a program for that, okay? So we're going to have immigration into the country for that reason, to have people pick our crops. Then they're going to have to come in documented. We're going to have to know who they are and why they're here, okay? And not just letting them do whatever, okay? And live a life of crime. There's a difference, something that liberals don't seem to understand. Again, I just find it fascinating that, these same people like Brandon Johnson that claim that, Trump is doing this because the Confederates lost the Civil War or something. Again, these are the same people fighting for what the Confederacy was fighting for, right? For cheap labor. Again, it's amazing how that works, okay? But again, according to them, if you listen to them, this is a part of a campaign to make America white again. Take a look.
Look, I think there's always this gap between what they say they're going to do and what they do. And that is because what Donald Trump is interested in is using genuine public concerns that are out there and weaponizing them to then do, much more sweeping things for which there is no mandate, right? So in this example, is there I was on with you last week when we were talking about polling that shows there is support in the country for deporting undocumented people with criminal records. There is support for that. So Donald Trump will talk about that and then kind of run on that. And then, as you're seeing in the reporting just now, what they actually do behind the scenes, they trust will not really get out. And it is part of a different agenda they have, which is really to make America white again, which is part of their attack on everything from birthright citizenship to any number of programs, aid, freezing various forms of aid that real people depend on. They have an agenda to make it harder for regular people to live in this country, for immigrants to have to live in worry about whether they have their papers. We are going to become a kind of check your papers society in the blink of an eye. And there's no mandate for that. But that is what folks like Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and others around the president actually want. They want to change the very fabric of this country, something for which there is not that same mandate.
I mean, the campaign slogan of President Trump has been Make America Great Again, right? So again, I think most people understood exactly what they were voting for. I think most people want this country to return back to normalcy, okay, where we don't have mass illegal immigration, crime being out of control, wokeness, insanity happening, right? Yeah, that is what people voted for, right? And if that's making America white again, then hey, I guess that's what we all want. But I'm not entirely sure if that's what's going on here, right? I think what we're doing is that we are bringing back common sense. We are enforcing laws, which again, Democrats find to be a terrible thing, right? It's just crazy how these people are doubling and tripling down on the nonsense. They just lost an election because of this same type of Trump derangement. Most average everyday Americans are watching what's going on with the mass deportations, and they are happy. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. Most of them are white. Yeah. You got to go, right? If you're going to come into the country, you got to come in legally, okay, through legal pathways. We can't have this unfettered mass illegal immigration. And, we got to fix it. It is what it is, okay? And we're going to have to make some tough choices. Some feelings are going to get hurt, but we're not going to be apologetic about it.
Listen to this. New York City joined the list of cities where these performative raids are taking place.
We have a government right now that is reckless.
Reckless and also, as I've said, performative. I want to show you an image of Kristi Noem, who was just confirmed, the former governor who's confirmed as a Department of Homeland Security. It's as she's cosplaying. It's almost a game where she seems to be cosplaying, as I'm not sure what she thinks that she's portraying here. She might as well be at Comic-Con.
James and Joyce say you're reckless and you're just role-playing for fun.
She's dumber than a box of rocks. Bottom line is, let's talk about Chicago for a minute. Chicago mayor says that we put fear in the elementary schools because ICE agents went to elementary school. Total false story. What ICE did in Chicago is save children. What we did in New York today is save children. Just Chicago alone, we arrested like 9 sexual predators, most of them child sex predators. We took them off the street. We took them off the street in New York today. We're protecting the community. We're saving children. We're going to secure that border so less Americans die of fentanyl deaths. We're securing the border so less women and children are sex trafficked. Biden administration had a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We're securing the border so less terrorists and people on the terrorist watch list get into the country. Biden, under Biden, we had a 3,500% increase in people on the terrorist watch list. No, we're saving this nation. We're making America safe again. So they need to get out of the way because we're coming. We're going to do it. They're not going to stop us.
And these people can continue to boo-hoo, whine, and cry. They're going to. I'm just wondering how long they're going to do it, right? Are they going to keep this up for the next 4 years straight? Is this really what they're going to do? Because if so, they're going to make my job real easy, right? If this is what they're going to do for the next 4 years. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.